alliance or horde, or for wheat, kill the werewolf. While to y'all these words might not make any sense or fit together in any way, it does to me, and probably Mr. Renshaw. It's because we're gamers. Video games, card games, board games, I really play them all. And who gets credit for this love of games? Well, all the accolades go to my family. When I was younger, I'd play a bunch of simple games like Chutes and Ladders, Guess Who, Candyland. And these games were really the start for me. They really led me on the path I am now. But once I got older, I played more complicated games like Monopoly. And this is when I first realized that my family is extremely over-competitive. We would play Monopoly in one sitting. That means no getting up for a break, no, I'm gonna leave this here and come back to it later. No, we sat down and we played the game all the way through. And these games lasted up to maybe 3-4 hours. And because that's so long, you might be tempted to just give in, say, oh, I'm gonna bankrupt myself so I can go do my own thing. But that's where the problem comes in. If you lose, you have to say to the winner that you are the king or queen of Monopoly and I declare bankruptcy. And I could do that, that's not a problem at all. The only problem is you have to bow while saying it. And my family, being the overly competitive people we are, don't do that. When I got a little bit, that this game really wasn't just limited to my immediate family. My extended family would play as well. I remember on a Friday or Saturday night, if I was lucky, going to my Uncle Andrew's dental office. And it wasn't just because I loved getting my teeth cleaned, which I kind of don't. It was because in the back room, he had 8 computers set up. And in these 8 computers, I got to watch my dad, my uncle, and my cousins play Warcraft 3. And as soon as they would play, I would see how much fun my dad was having. And it wasn't always from winning because, well, he didn't always win. It was from playing with family and the camaraderie, the laughing, teasing, and bantering that came along with it. And I knew that I wanted to be a part of that. So when I thought I was old enough, I asked if I could play as well. And when I first played with family, I loved the game. I loved it because of the story behind the game. So when 2 years later, World of Warcraft came out, I knew that I wanted to play as well. This game was different because I was able to play from my own house. My computer in my house, I was able to play with my cousin from Houston or my cousin from Oklahoma without any problems. But when we were all together, I knew that we would be playing Settlers of Catan. This game I first played was without family, actually. It was during a Summer in the Oaks program in high school. It was during Summer in the Oaks program in middle school. It was my summer of 8th grade year in a club called Board Game Club, hosted by Mr. Robinson. It was from 8th graders to 12th graders, and being an 8th grader, I was the youngest one there and knew no one, and which made it especially intimidating when I was paired up with a senior. I'd never seen him nor talked to him my entire life. But as soon as the game started, a switch flipped, and we became best of friends. And to put the cherry on top, we ended up winning. Now, you can imagine my excitement when my Uncle Richard brought this game to a family get-together a couple weeks later. I immediately got my entire family together and we started playing the game. But there was one small problem. You see, I speak Vietnamese and English. My family speaks Vietnamese and English. But my uncle's father-in-law speaks Chinese. How do we play with that? So we devised a way where we use small, short phrases in order to communicate with each other. Phrases like ore for wheat or sheep for brick, if we wanted to trade with each other. And he caught on and we caught on, and eventually we were able to play with each other, no problem. Without this device, we wouldn't be able to play with him, and we'd be missing a key part in our group. But as good as that game did a job of keeping us together, none did as great as the Ultimate Werewolf. The game has werewolves and villagers. The werewolves try to eliminate the villagers eliminate the werewolves. And we played this with my entire family. I remember the best game I've ever played was in a family vacation in Destin 3 years ago. There were 30 of us playing the game, and we were down to the final 5. Me, my brother, were werewolves. My cousin Michael and my aunt and an uncle were villagers. My cousin Michael was dead set on Eric and I being werewolves and wanted to get us out, and he was right. But Eric and I couldn't let them know that. So when the final time came to defend ourselves before the final vote, Eric and I cried. We somehow telepathically communicated and started crying at the same time in order to convince my aunt and uncle to vote with us against my cousin. And we did. He got out, and as soon as it revealed that Eric and I won, he got up, he left the room, and didn't talk to me for the rest of the night. And because of that, a rule had to be made that if you cried in a game of werewolf, you would vote it off the next night. There's no questions asked. I was lucky that I was good at the game and have stories like this. It's really games like that that bring my family together. That game was played with 30 people, from my cousin who's 6 years old to my grandpa who's 62. All of us played together. So family game night really wasn't about the games. It was more like families and the camaraderie and the bonds that forms between us, bringing us together under one activity. That makes family game night feel more like family night. And isn't that what's important? Thank you.